We are talking about scatter plots today. So get out a sheet of paper, write down 1/6 scatter plots, and let's go ahead and get started. Basically, what is a scatter plot? It's a graph that shows the relationship between two sets of data. Now, sometimes you'll find that there is a relationship, and other times you'll find that there isn't a relationship. So what are we talking about? Well, let's take a look at a quick example. Let's say that we want to know if a relationship exists between the temperature outside and bathing suit sales. Now I'm going to draw a really quick and dirty graph here. Feel free to do the same. Okay, X and Y, let's label our axes. And here I have the outside temperature. Let's say we will look at it in terms of degrees Fahrenheit. And over here I have bathing suit sales. I'm not going to put any numbers on my graph right now. I'm just looking at a basic trend. So the question is there a trend? What happens as the temperature goes up? What do you think will happen with bathing suit sales? They'll probably go up also. You're probably not selling too many bathing suits when it's 50 degrees outside, but when it's 90, 85, close to 100, you probably have a lot of bathing suit sales. And overall, if I was someone who owned a store and wanted to know how to market bathing suits and when to market bathing suits, I might want to look at these types of trends. Let's go ahead and take a look at your handout. It is page 38, and we'll look to see what kinds of trends and relationships exist within scatter plots. Okay, so here we have some relationships. These graphs should be similar to the graphs at the top of page 38. However, they're in a different order. It turns out that with different scatter plots, we can interpret either a positive relationship, a negative relationship, or no relationship whatsoever. So what happens in a positive relationship? That's basically showing that as your X values increase, the Y values increase. So with our previous example, as the temperature rose, as the temperature got higher, the bathing suit sales got higher. What about negative relationships? Well, in this case, as X increases, the Y values decrease. And again, I'm talking Y values and X values. I'm not talking about the axes. Now, it might so happen that you graph two sets of data and they have no relationship whatsoever. Maybe you're trying to figure out if there's a relationship between the number of cats a person owns and the number of dogs. Well, maybe there's no relationship whatsoever because some people have 10 dogs and 3 cats. Other people have no pets. Some people have 2 cats and 1 dog. But there's no real connection there. So what I'd like you to do right now is to go to the top of page 38 and take a look at numbers 1, 2, and 3 and identify which scatter plots represent positive, negative, and no relationships. Once you're done with that, we will take a look at another handout. So hit pause if you need to. Okay, so you should have found that the first example is no relationship, the second example has a negative relationship, and the third example has a positive relationship. But let's say we're not looking exactly at a graph and we're just trying to analyze if two sets of data have a correlation. Let's take a look at page 39 for a moment to do that. So on page 39, number 2, let's start there, number 2. It says the size of the family in the weekly grocery bill. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can connect this concept to what we were just talking about. So size of family and weekly grocery bill. First thing you need to recognize is that whatever is listed first always represents X, and whatever is listed second always represents Y. And in order to figure out what kind of relationship exists, we always need to be looking to see what happens as X increases. So in order to analyze, we always have to look to see what's happening with the data as X increases. So basically, as the size of the family is getting larger, What's happening to the grocery bill? Well, we can kind of guess that it's probably also going to go up. So, as X increases, Y increases. Or as the size of the family increases, the grocery bill increases. What kind of relationship is this? This represents a positive relationship. Now we are asked to explain why, so we do want to be able to put that down in words. And you can say as X increases, Y increases, but I would like you to be a little bit more specific. So when asked why, you can say as the size of the family increases or gets larger, more money is spent on food. What I would like you to do right now is to go ahead and take a look at number 3 and number 5. So hit pause, read through those situations, and determine if a relationship exists, and then explain why. When you're ready to see the solution, hit unpause. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some answers. Here's the answer for number 3. Now, you might have said, what? I thought it was positive. It turns out that when you're looking at the price of a car or a truck or other vehicles, it's not always size that determines the price. Usually make and model determine the price as well. So I would probably say that there's no relationship there. For number 6, I would probably say that there's a negative relationship. As you spend more time on video games, you're probably spending less time outside, which would give you a situation where as X increases, Y decreases. So that is a negative relationship. What I'd like you to do now is to practice making your own scatter plot. So on page 38, so we're going back a page, I would like you to work on numbers 5 through 8. Now they already have a graph set up for you. The only thing that's missing is a title, so you need to put your own title in. You might be wondering what is at the bottom of the graph there. You see something that looks like this, like 2 kind of squiggly lines. Those are called skips. A skip is used when you have a lot of data that is close to the origin. So on the X and Y axes, you can see that they skipped between 0 and 50 and between 0 and 70. And that's just so that we can see the data more close up. So that's what those are. You can only put a skip near the origin. You cannot put them anywhere else. So work on numbers 5 through 8 and then hit unpause when you're ready to check them. Okay, bear with me. I know this image is horrible, but I was able to copy it in such a way that you can see the trend of where your points should be about. So just check to make sure that your graph looks similar to this graph. I put a title on of crickets, because we're talking about crickets that are chirping. Please check your answers to 6, 7, and 8. Of course, with 7 and 8, as long as you're in the general ballpark, your answer is fine because it's an estimation. I don't need an exact answer here. We definitely see a positive relationship as well. So just in summary, scatter plots show the connection between 2 sets of data, and we can analyze what's going on by looking at the trends to see if we have positive, negative relationships or no relationship. With a positive relationship, as X goes up, Y goes up, and with negative relationships, as X goes up, Y goes down. I will see you in class. Bye.